Take a look at these protests in Israel. They're protesting the Israeli government, led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, over what's happening in Gaza. But listen carefully as to why they're protesting.
My country is going down by the Prime Minister.
The thing is to get our hostages back.
Our country is becoming a dictatorship. They're abandoning our hostages.
To ruin the Israeli democracy and leave the hostages in Gaza will not pass.
You'll notice a theme. All the outrage is focused on saving Israeli lives, not ending the mass killing of Palestinians. At first, that might seem understandable, because of course people care about their families and the hostages. But this kind of protest reveals something much deeper about Israeli society, and something much more dangerous. First, let's take a step back. What's happening in Gaza is being described by UN officials, genocide scholars, and human rights experts as a genocide or ethnic cleansing. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed, hospitals, schools, mosques flattened, children are starving, people are being burned alive in their beds, and millions of people have been displaced from what little land they had left. And this isn't a tragic accident. It's a deliberate policy of Netanyahu's far-right government, who many in the West now describe as extremist. They've made openly genocidal statements. They've blocked aid, bombed evacuation routes, and called Palestinians human animals.
אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור. אנחנו נלחמים בחיות אדם.
But here's the problem. Western leaders keep saying that Netanyahu has to go. Israeli protesters chant the same. He's blamed for corruption, authoritarianism, and escalating the war. The assumption is, remove him and peace will follow. But this narrative is misleading, because Netanyahu is not the root of the problem. He is a symptom of something deeper. Let's look at the numbers. A recent poll by an Israeli polling firm showed that 82% of Israelis support the forced deportation of all 2.2 million Palestinians in Gaza. That's ethnic cleansing by definition. In addition, almost half of the respondents said that the military should reenact the story of Jericho, a biblical conquest in which everyone was slaughtered. And even with Netanyahu's approval collapsing, over 40% still support the military's war in Gaza, and over half support cutting off all humanitarian aid. This isn't just a political crisis, this is societal radicalization. Now think about how Palestinian society is framed. We're constantly told that Gaza must be de-radicalized, that because they elected Hamas in 2006, they're collectively responsible, that peace is impossible without changing their worldview. But if we're applying that standard, shouldn't the same be said for Israeli society? When the majority supports war crimes, when genocide is no longer a fringe position, why isn't that being treated as a radicalized population?
We, Jews, will be in Gaza.
That sounds like ethnic cleansing.
All of Israel is our land. All of Israel is yours.
This didn't happen overnight. Decades of military occupation, siege, religious nationalism, and fear-based indoctrination have shaped Israeli public opinion. Palestinians are dehumanized in schools, the media, and the political system. Soldiers post videos online of bombed Gazan neighborhoods with celebratory captions. Politicians brag about how many terrorists they've killed with no distinction between civilians, and public discourse increasingly erases Palestinian suffering altogether.
כל ילד, כל תינוק בעזה הוא אויב.
Now, let's be clear, not all Israelis support this. There are people and groups courageously speaking out. Human rights organizations like B'Tselem, journalists at Haaretz, and activists putting their lives on the line. But they are a minority, and right now, that minority does not shape public policy. So when we see Israelis protesting in the street, we need to ask ourselves, what are they really demanding? Because many of these demonstrations are not anti-genocide, they're anti-Netanyahu. They want to save Israeli hostages, not Palestinian lives. They fear Israel is losing its image or damaging its democracy, but they say nothing about the destruction of Gaza. And so if this is the political consensus, if war crimes and ethnic cleansing enjoy widespread support, then change will not come from within Israeli society. It must come from the outside. Just as Western governments demand Palestinians be de-radicalized, by that logic, they must also confront the radicalization of Israeli society. Because how can there be peace when one society has been conditioned to believe that another group of people simply don't deserve to exist? If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing and sharing. This channel is just me. No outside funding, no big backers. Everything you see here takes hours of research, editing, storytelling, all in my own time, all in order to help raise awareness of important issues and see the deeper power structures behind the headlines. So if you want to support more independent, critical content like this, then please consider donating to my Patreon. For example, if everyone who's watching this video donates £1, then I would have more than enough to continue making my videos. So please consider a donation. Every like, every comment, every subscription, every donation genuinely keeps me going. So thank you for your kindness. Let me know what you think about the video in the comments, and until next time.